Are you from Lexington or are you a transplant?
No, so I'm from Canton, Ohio, born and raised, and then I went to school at Bowling Green State University, which is just a little south of Toledo in Ohio.
I
And
played
then,
hockey there once. Yeah.
yeah, they have a really good hockey team. And
Yeah.
then moved down to Lexington in 2021. So not local to here, but love it and definitely plan to
Yeah.
stay.
I had a friend who I was chatting with, and he was like a real estate, and he sort of likened. He's from Texas, and he likened Lexington to like one of the like hipster cities, like Portland or Boise or something like that. Being a Canton girl, what's your perspective of Lexington?
Yeah, so I tell all of my doctors for work this because they're always like, "Oh, how do you like Kentucky compared to Ohio?" And to be honest, everyone down here is so nice,
Yeah.
and I feel like everyone is kind of slow motion, very patient, versus being
Mm,
up in a city in Ohio. I don't want to say that we're mean, but it's more
yeah.
fast paced, not a lot of patience up there. So
Yeah.
definitely like the kind of change of pace down here, and just everyone is the hospitality is great and everyone's just so kind. So
Yeah.
it's very different. You would think it wouldn't be with it just being
Yeah.
like one state below, but
Yeah. It's
yeah,
just right across the river
yeah,
there. Yeah. Yeah. I was born in Cincinnati and grew up around the Cincinnati area, like northern Kentucky, which is still very different than
yeah.
Lexington. What is Canton? How big is Canton? I actually have never been
Oh,
there.
good question. I don't know. I consider
Okay.
it like a little bit smaller than Akron. Um, kind of like
Okay.
not like a suburb of Cleveland, but I think it's definitely bigger than Lexington for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
more like
okay.
spaced out, I would say. I feel like Lexington is very condensed and Canton is kind of spaced out and it's more
Hmm.
populated over a larger area. Um, yeah,
Interesting.
I wish I had.
So
Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
what brought you to Lexington?
So my boyfriend is a PhD student at the University of Kentucky.
Hmm.
He's working on his dissertation right now. He should be done in about a year, but I followed him down here. We both did our
Oh, cool.
masters together. Definitely wanted to get out of Ohio for a little bit, so it worked out and came down to
Yeah.
Kentucky, and we both really love it. So
Nice. What's his field?
he's in kinesiology, so
Oh, okay, cool.
exercise science. Yeah. Um, right now he's doing his dissertation on children and doing like exercise tests and DEXA scans and looking at body
Oh, nice.
composition. So it's really interesting.
Do you know David Ollick?
Is that a student or like a professor?
David Ollick. So I do CrossFit at CrossFit
Yeah.
859, and David Ollick is the guy who runs the PT clinic that's right there in house. I just interviewed him last week for the podcast, and he did his residency and everything at UK as well.
Okay.
So I wonder if maybe your boyfriend knows him. I'm not
He
sure, but
might. He might.
yeah, yeah, very cool. And so you did your master's as well. Did you also study kinesiology?
Yeah, exercise science, kinesiology. So
Awesome.
I love the field. It's very interesting. And I think it definitely has taught me a lot, like getting into CrossFit and all that too.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure. So, did you have we'll talk about obviously now your professional life is a little different, but did you have aspirations to go into physical therapy, or is that the main thing a person does with kinesiology is do physical therapy?
I think so. It's a nice prerequisite into the medical field for sure.
Uh-huh.
Um, I originally wanted to be like athletic trainer. And then I
Mm,
was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll go the physician assistant route. And then eventually I was like, no, I want to get into sales. Like my last year
hmm.
as an undergrad, I kind of made the decision I want to get into either medical device sales or pharmaceutical sales. And I also knew I wanted to get a master's too. So decided to stay for another 2 years after my undergrad, get that master's degree, just because it does kind of make you a better candidate when you're applying for
Yeah.
jobs, which definitely helped in my case.
One of the things that I think about myself is that I have never been, and nor will I ever be, a salesperson. And so to hear you reflect on you're in college and you're like sales, that's like
Mhm.
who are you, and what was there a moment where you're like, aha, sales? Like what was it about sales that?
Yeah, I think I've always been outgoing my whole life. Like social
Yeah.
anxiety fears me. I love talking to people. I like
Yeah.
making connections and meeting new people. And
Hmm.
I noticed something about myself when I'm really passionate about something and I have like a decent knowledge of it. I'm very confident speaking on certain things. And
Hmm.
on top of that, just kind of making each relationship with each person I talk to individualized to us. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's more just I've always been a people person. My mom said growing up, I would be that kid that would get stolen because I would take candy from everybody.
Hey,
So,
strangers.
yeah, exactly. So I think
That's
I
funny.
think in the back of my head, I knew sales was probably going to be the end game, but wanted to, test the waters out and see if something else interested me before I
Yeah.
decided to make that commitment. So,
One of the things I thought was cool about what you just said is you are good at making conversations individualized to us, whoever us is at the time. How do you do that practically? Like, do you just have an incredible memory and you just remember things, or like, are there practical things that you do to sort of make the conversation personal?
yeah, I think just remembering little details about people goes a long way. Even just to the extent of, oh, how was your daughter's soccer game last
Yeah.
weekend? Just small things like that. It just shows that you're actually listening and you're interested. And it also
Yeah.
forms a bit of a trust between you and that person too. So then you can build that relationship. But I do think I have a really good memory, but I also like to learn about people too, just because I feel like the more
Hmm.
connections you make in life, the more opportunities that open.
Yeah. Do you do like like if you know you're going to have a sales kind of conversation with a person, do you do like pre work? Like, okay, oh, he has a daughter, like you take notes, or is it all in the moment?
I think at first when I started my job, I would write little notes down to remember, but now that I've
Yeah.
been in my territory for about 2 years now, I've gotten to know everybody, so I haven't really
It's
had to,
easier now. Yeah.
refresh myself at all.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. When I used to live in Chicago, I used to do improv, and like the whole thing of improv is like whatever that person is saying is the most important thing in the world to
yes.
you, and that's how you build a scene. And I think it's super valuable interpersonally, and I'm sure you use a similar thing in sales to sort of say like every word this person's saying is really meaningful in a genuine way. You don't
Yeah.
want to just use it for to make a sale or whatever thing like
Yeah.
that. So um okay, so you're doing kinesiology, you're thinking maybe PT school, but then like you're like, no, sales is the thing for me. And then is pharmaceutical sales the obvious thing, or did you have to decide from a number of things like how you might start a sales career?
Yeah, so pharmaceutical sales and even medical device sales is kind of hard to get your foot in the door at first. You do have to get some sales experience and obviously
Hmm.
have a little bit of medical background. So, moving down to Lexington, my first job actually was in a functional medicine clinic where I did get to work with doctors and do sales. I was doing that for about 3 years before I finally got my foot in the door. And then it was a lot of connecting with other pharmaceutical reps in the territory, connecting with recruiters, like getting my
Hmm.
name out there, getting my resume out there. It was definitely a work in progress, but once your foot is in the
Hmm.
door, you're in the industry and you'll be able to get a job pretty much whenever.
And is it, excuse me. And is it like did you have a mentor, or like did you just like have a bunch of failures and all of a sudden you had successes, or like what was like how did you go from like level zero to like, oh, now people know who I am? And
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. So a lot of applying, reaching out to people, a little bit of
Mhm.
failing, rejection. But luckily, I did have somebody down here who is a veteran in the industry. I think he's been doing
Mhm.
sales for 20 years. And he was helping me out a lot, helping me with my resume, getting me connected to the right people. And eventually something stuck. So I think it was a little bit of both, a little bit of
Yeah.
persistency and a little bit of having the right people in your corner.
Do you remember any of those early like failures where you're like, this is gonna work, and then it did not work?
Yes, and then you're heartbroken. You get your
Yeah.
hopes up, but
Yeah.
once you finally get that accept or the letter that says, "Oh, you have a job. Would you like to accept?" It's definitely worth it. But yeah, a lot of rejections, and it kind of brings you down a little bit, puts you in a low mental space, but it works out eventually.
And I mean, I know very little about the world, but my mental images of, you've got a little rolling suitcase, you walk in the back, and are you mainly talking with doctors, or like are there back of office managers or something that you're trying to like persuade and talk about like the benefits of what you're doing, or like what's the typical rhythm of what you're actually doing day to day?
Yeah, so it's not just providers I'm talking to. And when I say providers, it could be MDs, DOs, nurse practitioners, PAs,
Hmm.
everybody. You're also
Hmm.
talking to the office staff too, because they are essentially the gatekeepers of that office who let you back to see the providers.
Yeah, I imagine
Yeah.
that's important. Yeah.
So building a relationship with the entire office, the nurses, the medical assistants, the CMAs is super important. But basically, you walk in, you introduce yourself. Some offices do not allow reps back, so you can only see providers
Hmm.
if you have a lunch scheduled or maybe bringing in some sort of snack to get
Yeah.
back and see them. And then it's essentially once you get behind those doors, you kind of check in, see how they're doing. Most of the time, I lead with something non-related to the products I have, just because
Yeah.
the last thing they want is for you to immediately be like, "Oh, how's it going with this?"
Right. Right.
Um,
Right. Right. Right.
so that's kind of what
Um,
my day to day looks like. And then, like I said, if you have a lunch too, that's a lot easier to kind of just sit down and have more of personal conversations with those providers because they all
Hmm.
kind of just sit around while you're eating lunch and you get to talk to everybody in the office too. But yeah, so every day is a little bit different, but for the most part, it's walking into an office. I don't have a little suitcase. All the
You do or do not?
I do not. All the
You
products that
don't?
my
Oh, okay.
company sends, it's nice. It's virtual, so all I have to do is get a
Oh,
signature
okay.
from a provider, and then my company will send it out, which is
I see.
safer on my end, just because um, people know that you have drugs in your
Right.
card.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
little,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Oh, that makes sense. I never thought about that. Are there like horror stories of like reps that have been like, because I'm imagining like it's like, a cancer drug. That's not, I don't know,
mhm.
people stealing those.
I mean, I think there's horror stories.
Oh,
I
no.
wasn't in the industry like early enough
Right.
to
Yeah.
know, but a lot of my coworkers have been in that era where they are actually delivering the drugs to these offices. And yeah, nothing too crazy, but it's just you don't want to get in front of the wrong person.
Sure.
So
Yeah. As was You mentioned you have to like a snack. Do you mean like you would bring snacks in for people so you can like be like, yeah, that's funny.
yeah,
That's
so
interesting.
maybe you bring a dozen donuts and you're like, hey, is
Yeah.
Dr. So available? Can I see
Yeah.
you?
By the way, here's these delicious donuts.
Yeah.
It's the grease that lubricates all the wheels. When I used to work in logistics and, these trucking companies would want big contracts with our manufacturer. And so they would bring in for the crew just like literally hundreds of boxes of Krispy Kreme for the staff.
Yeah,
And you could be like, you are bribing me and I am accepting this bribe
absolutely.
joyfully. We just take so bad for you.
Yep.
Oh, that's wild. Was there ever a time where you like, whether it's the office staff or the provider where you knew I haven't won that person over yet, and then you were able to?
Yes. Some people are a little bit challenging. They're a little bit more reserved and have their walls up. So you
Yeah.
have to get creative and you need to ask the right questions to get.
Do you have a secret technique that'll do the trick?
I think my technique is really just learning the little details about them and showing them
Hmm.
that I remember that every time I
Mm.
come and
Oh,
not
wow.
trying to force information down their throat right away because that's always
Yeah.
a big turnoff to providers. I mean, the way I
Sure.
look at it is that these providers are in school and they clearly know way more than me. And I'm not going to walk in there acting like I'm got a crown on
Yeah.
my head
Yeah.
and know everything. So just kind of, again, learning those small details and using it to my advantage.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I noticed on your Instagram that I think this was in March, you said you have decided to pursue it competitively.
Mhm.
Is that like, talk a little bit about how you came to CrossFit and then what was like a turning point for you where you're like, I'm going to take this to the next level?
Yeah, so I was introduced to CrossFit in February of 2022 by a former coworker. Just they brought me to Man War CrossFit, and I fell in love
Mm.
with it. And I was just doing the classes for 2 years, enjoying the community and all that.
Had you done much stuff before then, or where is your fitness at this point when you were introduced to CrossFit?
Yeah, so I was a gymnast my whole life, so that definitely
Oh, okay.
helped. Yeah, and then I
Okay.
also
Yeah,
did
sure.
softball too, so definitely had an athletic background beforehand. And I remember kind of being done with college athletics and having the sense of, okay, like where's my identity at now? I don't know.
Yeah.
How do I work out? Tried to get into running, like doing half marathons. Didn't like that. Tried to do the
Hmm.
general, like going to Planet Fitness, working out.
Yeah.
Wasn't enjoying that. And then, like I
Hmm.
said, got introduced to CrossFit, fell in love with it, did the classes for 2 years, and slowly started to get better. And there was a member at the gym that I was consistently in the same class with. And the
Hmm.
coaches at Man War 2 were like, you should go and work out with some of the competitive athletes over on the other side of the gym. And I'd always say, no,
Hmm.
no, like I think my competitive side's over because I have a
Yeah.
very addictive personality. And I knew that
Mm.
I would just immediately go ahead.
So that was a conscious decision. You're
Yeah.
like, no, I need to. I'm crossing the dark line or
Yes.
something.
Like
Yeah.
I
Oh
know
my
I
gosh.
will go full throttle if I say yes because I know I'll love it. And
Yeah.
there was one workout that we did. It was like deadlifts and burpees. And I did really, really well on it. And this member was like, Kat, you're not allowed to leave until you go talk to Graham and
Hmm.
ask to work out with him because you're done with classes. Like you
Yeah.
need to go elevate a little bit. So
Yeah.
I started taking it seriously. I probably in 2024 in April, and then
Hmm.
got convinced to really do it competitively a couple months after that because I started to again, really love it like I predicted. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So you start going really competitively. And then how did you, like, what practically changed for you? I mean, just more volume, more times a day? Like, what does that mean for you to like really make that decision?
yeah, so typically, well, now I'll do two different training sessions. It'll be typically a morning cardio session, and then in the afternoon, it's a lot of CrossFit and lifting versus
Hmm.
just being in the class where you're doing a little bit of lifting and then a quick Metcon based on the time that you have for that class. So it was definitely a lot of volume added all at once. In those first couple months, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not used to it. But you do adapt. Uh,
And did you love it immediately,
yes.
or were you like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I was wrong? You loved it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I kept asking Graham and I kept asking Jason, one of the coaches at the gym, like, I
Hmm.
need to be doing more. What do I need to be doing more of? And they're like,
Hmm.
chill.
Yeah.
Like we'll work into it. Like you don't need to be doing more all
Yeah.
at once. So
That's crazy. Are you, I'm not at all competitive. I'm just like a basic RX guy. And I'm also in my 40s. So me pushing is, I'm sure, very different than you pushing, but is it hard for you? It's hard for me to not go 100% all the time. Is that hard for you? Is it hard for you to take rest days? I guess is the practical question.
yeah, at first rest days were really hard for me. I just wanted to
Hmm.
be at the gym or do something outside of the gym. But now that the volume is so high and the
Hmm.
intensity is so high, I actually look forward to a true rest day,
Mm.
which full circle moment for me because the cat last year would have been like, no rest for me. I need to be doing 7 days a week CrossFit.
Right. And so what does your training schedule look like? Is it you take a complete rest day once a week, or how do you structure that now?
Yeah, so typically I'll do a full rest day on Sunday. And then on Thursday, I will do like 40 minutes of zone two. So typically that just involves cycling on my back
Hmm.
patio.
Oh, okay. Like a echo bike
Yeah.
or a assault bike or something like that. Okay. So not a true rest day.
Yeah. No, not a true rest day, but Sunday is the true rest day. So
Sunday is a true rest
yes.
day. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. Okay. And then, so like, how do you, I'm just thinking like like competitions, like what do you do? I mean, I know there are like local competitions and then of course there's the open, which, goes into the games. Like, are there bits of the competitive season you focus on or are aspiring to?
I think that kind of depends on what competitions are in the works, but obviously the open, you want to peak
Hmm.
right around there.
Yeah.
And then competition wise this year, I think the goal is doing Wodapalooza down in Miami,
Oh, nice.
either as an individual or possibly as a team. We do have a couple girls at Man of War. That would be great. Team
Yeah.
members. So we'll see. That's a while away. That's in March, which falls right around the open. So
Yeah.
that'll be kind of a toss up on what happens there. But and then possibly doing another competition called Fittest of the Coasts, which is, I believe, in South
Hmm.
Carolina. And I think that one is in February. So based on when those competitions are, I'll start probably ramping up the fitness a little bit closer to that. But
Hmm.
right now, just trying to maintain, of course, get stronger because strength right now is not necessarily a weakness, but it is my main weakness. So
Hmm.
just trying to get better at that. But
So strength is your main weakness, so trying to get better at that. That's so before we move off of the competitions, I wanted to stay here for a little bit. This was the first year where they introduced the community cup. Did you participate in the community
I
cup?
did not.
You didn't
No.
know. Was that intentional because you're doing something else, or you just missed it? Or
I actually didn't even really know about it.
oh
So,
my gosh, what
yeah,
a huge miss! CrossFit, if you're listening, like hello, jeez.
I know. I like didn't
Yeah.
even realize. So,
Oh my gosh, darn it. Well, let's back up then. What about the open? How was the open for you?
the open went really well. So the first workout, I did the day before I went down to Florida for a girls trip, and
Mm.
I did well on the workout, but I came
Mhm.
back not wanting to redo it, knowing I had to redo it, and I think that was the deciding factor of how I didn't make it to semifinals because I really only needed like 6 or 7 more reps to qualify.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but the second two workouts went really, really well. I redid the second
Yeah.
one, improved my time, I think by 45 seconds. So that was
Dang.
nice. And then my third workout, I only did that one once, but that ended up working out really well for me. And
Nice.
yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was my first open that I actually understood what was going on because the open
Hmm.
prior to that was right when I kind of decided to start dabbling competitively. And I didn't really
Okay.
understand what the open was. So I did my best, but this was the year where I was like, okay, I actually understand what's going on. Like I can strategize. I
Yeah.
trust my fitness, and definitely did a lot better.
You just mentioned strategy. Were there particular like aha moments strategically for you that you approached either the open workouts or some other workout in particular, like where you're like, aha, the way I did it strategically really, really worked for me?
Yes, and strategizing is something I struggle with, which I'm learning slowly from other people and coaches.
Mm,
Because my mindset is, okay, let's just go as fast as I can. Like I'm not gonna break
100% of
anything
the
up.
time.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go
Hmm.
unbroken, like fast
Yeah.
as I can. So
Yeah.
the first time I did the second workout, um, I broke it up okay, but I rested way too much, and I think I could have
Hmm.
pushed certain aspects of it. So I went in the second time with a better mindset, and obviously knowing what that stimulus feels like too. So
Yeah.
that definitely helped.
A 45 per second improvement. That's a chunk, man.
Yeah, I
Good for
think
you. Really. Yeah.
I was grateful. My goal was sub 8, and I think I got like 8:20 something on the first try, and then I ended up with like
Yeah.
7:44. So
That's
we
awesome.
got that below 8.
Very cool. What is your if you could design a CrossFit workout where you know you're getting first place, what does it look like?
It's got deadlifts, handstand walking, bar muscle
Hmm.
ups, anything gymnastics besides the ring muscle.
Heavy deadlifts or cycling deadlifts?
It's like anything, cycling deadlifts, whether it's heavy or
Hmm.
not.
Yeah.
I love deadlifts. I love anything on my hands. I love bar muscle ups.
Hmm.
Yeah, anything gymnastics.
Very cool. That's funny that you were saying earlier you consider strength a weakness for you, but you've got a heavy deadlift
Yeah,
in your ideal workout.
for some reason, deadlift and back squat, I definitely
Hmm.
am. I sit pretty good in those categories.
Yeah.
I would say like strength wise is my upper body, like getting the bench press up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
then ollie lifting is coming along really well. Like my clean is
Hmm.
going up decently. My snatch is going
Yeah.
up. It's more technique with those things, which I
Sure.
think
Yeah.
comes with a lot of time and repetition. So, but those are slowly getting better. And as I've been getting stronger, those have obviously gotten better as well, too.
Do you stay just in terms of like learning the technique and the fine detail of the Oli lifts? Are you staying in the CrossFit world or have you actually gone into some of the like Olympic lifting, actual true weightlifting programs?
I stayed in the CrossFit world, but
Have you?
I actually have a friend at the gym who does Olympic lifting,
Oh,
and
do you?
she's like a nationally ranked Olympic lifter.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's been definitely giving me some tips of how to get
That's cool.
better. And everybody at the CrossFit gym too kind of just jumps in whenever they see
Yeah.
something. I love criticism. One thing about gymnastics that has just instilled in my brain is you need to take criticism. So
Right. Yeah.
after everything I do, I'm looking around like, what did I do wrong? Someone tell me what I did wrong. Like, give me a critique.
Mm.
And sometimes people are like, you did great. You don't need a critique.
Is that hard for you to turn off? Because sometimes you got to turn it off.
Yeah, it is really hard because in gymnastics, you rely on other people's eyes to tell you how a trick looks, what the score is.
Oh,
So
wow.
for me, obviously CrossFit's not all about how something looks because it's different.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get kind of thrown off when no one gives me a critique on how to make it better. I'm like, whoa, what's going on right now? Um,
Yeah, that's such an interesting thing you just said. It's never occurred to me that like those fabulous, aerial
yeah,
twists, you're never really seeing them. So
no,
you just have to connect up feedback from another person's eyes
yes,
to however it felt
yep.
with you. That must be such a jarring thing. I'm thinking now of when Simone Biles had her, I forget the name of it, where you sort of lose your
The
ability to twist.
twisties,
The twisties or
yep.
something.
Mhm.
Is that sort of a breakdown of that connection between the feedback and your body's ability to execute, or
Yeah, so the twisties, it's a real thing and it's
is it?
scary. Yeah, it's where your mind and your body are not connecting. So you're
Hmm.
telling, like, your mind is saying, okay, do a full twist, and your body doesn't let you. It's
Hmm.
very similar. Have you heard of in baseball they call it like the yips, like when
The
you
yips,
kind of like
yeah.
double
Hmm.
pump. Yeah, that's very similar to that in gymnastics, and it can get really dangerous, which is why she pulled out.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
but that more so isn't about like getting feedback from coaches. That's more so
Right.
just overtraining and your brain and
Yeah.
your muscles are tired and you need to take a break.
Yeah. Did you ever have that when you were doing competitive gymnastics?
Yes, I had that twice. One on the uneven bars and then one on the floor.
Mm.
So, but you get
Oh my
over it.
gosh.
You honestly have to take about a month break from just doing that skill and give your brain a break from it.
And you said give your brain a break. Is that the only thing you can do is to just stop, or are there things that you can do to sort of reestablish the mind body connection?
Yeah, you can do little drills to
Little
kind
drills.
of start from square one, which definitely help. I think for me though, and this helps with CrossFit too, is just completely taking a step back for a couple weeks
Mm.
and just
Yeah.
not even thinking about it. Cause to me, I'm very mental. I overthink a lot of things. So giving my brain a
Yeah.
complete break helps, but I'm sure other athletes probably like to go back to doing those drills that they started out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Obviously it's easy for me as a non-gymnast to assume, oh, sure, it's probably very dangerous to like be flipping all around and not really feel like you're in control. But man, I can imagine.
Mhm.
Um, so we talked a little bit about how you take your training seriously. How do you, in terms of like diet or supplementation or anything, like how do you outside of the gym take care of what you're doing inside of the gym?
Yeah, so I don't take any supplements actually, and that's
Not a
not
one.
it's not because I don't want to. I don't I don't take creatine because I don't drink enough water, and the reason for that is because I drive
Mm,
for work a lot, so I try not to
I get
drink a
that.
lot of
Yeah,
water.
I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm also not the best water drinker in general, so
I was going to say that's sort of a liability with CrossFit
yeah,
if you don't drink a lot, right?
yes. So no supplements. As for diet, I do try to eat quality food, but the main thing for me is just eating enough, and
Hmm.
trying to put on some mass because I am one of the smaller CrossFit athletes. So
Hmm.
obviously mass moves mass. So getting that strength
Right.
up and eating enough calories and putting on a little bit of weight will definitely help.
Was that when you decided to take CrossFit competitively? I mean, as you and I both know, that means eating more food, like
Mhm.
you were just saying. Was that is that hard for you? Like, and what practically did you move from like like this many to this many calories? What was that jump like for you?
Yeah, it was definitely really hard just because you go from doing a sport that's all about being the smallest
Right. Oh, right.
and looking good in a leotard and eating as little as possible to a sport
Yeah.
that you actually need to be eating carbs for fuel.
Yeah.
So that was a big jump. But I think the mindset was really when I made that switch to go work out with the competitive athletes in my gym and realizing how much volume it was and realizing that I'm like dying in the middle of these workouts and I don't
Yeah.
have enough energy. I definitely needed to up the calorie intake and just the amount of food that I was eating. And once I did, I definitely noticed I was getting better. I was getting stronger.
Yeah.
I felt better. I definitely could still be eating more, but that's kind of something I need to introduce little by little because I think all at once mentally for me, that's
Yeah.
just not the best thing. So,
And are you a tracker? Like, do you track the number of calories or anything, or you just go by feel?
I typically have tracked. I have tried to stray away from it a little bit because that does get into my head. So I
Yeah.
have an idea of how much I want to eat and what that looks like portion wise. And it's in my head, but I've tried to kind of stray away from like my fitness pal and entering that all in.
Have you?
Hmm.
Just because it's too much stress to worry about?
That, and I think I just sit there and I think about it. I
Yeah.
don't mean to be doing that. So,
That's funny. Um, oh darn it, I lost what I was gonna say. And then in terms of here's what I say. Any go-to meals that you like to prepare for yourself that are like if you have a competition coming up or something that you're like, this is what cat needs. Cat food.
I love ice cream. I
I do too. I didn't think you were gonna say that. Okay, if you're using it, I'm gonna use it.
ice
Yeah.
cream and then those slushies from Dairy Queen are like my go-to. Uh,
Wait, for
no,
comps?
not I will. I haven't
Oh.
really had a competition recently to,
Oh, okay.
but I guess before a competition, probably just eating like a really big bowl of rice and chicken and just
Okay, so yeah,
high
yeah.
carb food. But
Yeah.
I know like in the summer right now, since the training has been harder, it's been hot. I've been doing a lot of
Yeah.
volume. Like I love ice cream and those like sugary
Yeah.
slushies from Dairy Queen. It's an easy way to get those calories in and
Hmm.
definitely more carbs too. So,
Okay, so you're an Ohio
oh
girl. I'm
yes.
gonna ask you about ice cream. Do you have Grader's allegiance or do you have Jenny's allegiance or do you not have an opinion about that?
Graders all the way.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, we can continue this interview.
Yes.
Um, I do love Jenny's. I love Jenny's, but I just grew up with eating Graders, and I'm so glad to live in a town that sells Graders ice cream.
Well, wait, I have a question for you being an Ohio
Okay.
guy. Are you an Ohio State fan?
I am a Kentucky fan.
Ah, wrong answer.
Wrong answer. You're a Ohio State person.
I'm a
Yeah.
diehard. So
Are you?
yes.
When I was going shopping around grad schools, I went to Ohio State's campus because I did philosophy for grad school,
Okay.
and I was just walking around campus thinking, oh, I'll just walk around this cute little university, Ohio State. I was scared out of my mind. I was literally intimidated because of how massive
It's
the
huge.
campus. Isn't it the largest campus
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Is that where you went?
No, I wish I
You
wasn't
went,
smart
yeah.
enough.
Ah,
It's hard to get in. It really is.
yeah. Is it?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
That's funny.
my dad went there,
Hmm.
coached football there, so we just bleed.
Your dad coached football at Ohio State?
Yeah, he was an
Oh, dang.
assistant offensive line coach, I believe, back in like the
Oh,
ninth.
awesome.
He's a Big Ten championship. I forget what year, but that's
Wow. Cool.
why I bleed Scarlet and
Yeah, of
Gray.
course.
So
Go Buckeyes. Good for you. That's awesome.
yeah,
Very cool. Yeah, we bleed blue down here. So
yeah.
is that awkward for you? I imagine at many times you're in this city.
So luckily you all are not a football school, and all
What?
yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, you're not wrong,
Yeah.
but she goes right out and says it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
But
Mm.
so all I really care about is football, to be honest. And you all are a
Okay.
basketball school. So when it does
Yeah.
come to basketball season, I really could care less how Ohio State does.
Really?
I'll root for the Cats. But yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, we're just in that, like, I mean, the SEC is brutal, as you know.
Yeah.
But or maybe you disagree. I don't
No,
know.
the
Maybe
SEC, you guys have hard schedules compared to
okay,
Big
yeah,
Ten,
yeah. But we
so,
just can't get past the 500 wins
No.
ish, kind of season. And
Yeah.
man, I don't know. I don't know who can get us there, but it took us a while to get to here.
I know you
Like
guys
compared
have
to when I was in college. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, geez. Okay. Um. I want to talk a little bit about gear.
Okay.
Do you have opinions on like what gear you use? Do you have like favorite grips or anything like that? I'd be interested to see what you use, what you maybe even don't like,
Yeah.
and why.
So right now I have two different pairs of grips, and for anything on the rig, chest to bars, toes to bar muscle up, I use pixel grips.
Do you?
Yeah,
Yep.
I just like those better. And then for ring muscle ups, I just started to use grips for those, just because it kind of felt weird. And I tried the pixels with it. It felt weird on the rings. I tried Victory
Yeah.
grips, didn't like it. But I just got RX Smart Gear grips, and
The special ring ones?
yes, no, the Alex Smith Gymnastics one.
Oh, okay, the gymnastics one. Okay,
Yes,
okay,
which
yeah.
I love. Those are what I use for the rings. I haven't really tried to use them for anything on the rig yet, but those are my two like preferences for grips.
Part of why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I've built out like an affiliate marketplace for gyms to sort of say like I can be their affiliate marketplace shop, and I just got RX Smart Gear literally 2 days ago, so I'm so excited I can use because everybody uses their ropes and their grips are insane.
Yes.
But they have a special, I think it's them, they have special ring grips.
I
And
didn't
was
know
curious if
that.
you use I could be wrong, but I think it could be someone else, but I thought it was them. But someone makes special ring muscle up grips, and I've
Okay.
never seen that before. So
Okay.
I'm curious. I haven't seen anyone use them yet.
Yeah.
But you like the Alex? Do you use the games approved ones that are, I forget. I think like 2.0 or something. Like that. I
Yes,
can't remember
yeah,
which
they
ones.
are
Yeah,
games
you use
approved.
those.
And I honestly think I like them because they are the same material as the grips that I used to use for gymnastics. So that's why I think I'm preferring them a little bit more versus the pixel grips,
I see.
on the ring specifically.
Interesting. Because are gymnastics grips like quite different? Because I know they have the dowel in them, but are they different otherwise? Yeah.
Yeah, so the gymnastics grips are the exact same as the Alex Smith grips. They just have the dowel, and then you have your ring finger and your middle finger in a hole, and that's how you kind of grab on.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. So that's grips. Anything else in terms of or like ropes or shoes or anything?
Yeah, shoes. I'm a loyal Nike Metcon girly.
Are you?
I
Okay.
run in Nike shoes too, and then I use RPM speed rope,
RPM.
and then
Yeah, that's
and
what
then
I
I
use.
do, and then I have an RX Smart Gear heavy rope too.
You do. Do you train with the heavy rope pretty regularly?
I did for a little bit, and it kicks your butt.
It's heavy. Yeah.
It's,
I've
oh
never
my
used
God.
one, but
And it's scary too because when you're doing double unders, and I'm like, oh my goodness, if I hit myself, this is gonna look bad. Like
Knock your
I'm going
teeth
to,
out. Yeah.
yeah.
I never thought about
So it's a
that.
little scary.
That's right. Did you see at what was it, the North Cal Classic recently when they had the RX market that like all the ropes like busted from the heat? That was crazy.
Yes, I did see that, which it kind
That's
of makes
wild.
sense. It was like over 100 degrees out there and they were just
Yeah, yeah, I'm
sitting
sure it
on.
was like laying them out
Yeah.
in the oven. That's
Yeah.
funny. Well, awesome. Kat, thanks so much. If people want to follow you in your journey, where can they find you?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Cat Daddy, KATTDADDAYY.
Awesome. Kat, thanks for your time.
Of course. Thank you for having me.